Hi, I'm Rhonda with the Sawgrass Education Team, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass. We join you live on YouTube twice a week, and in these sessions we're going to talk to you about everything Sawgrass. We talk about everything from the Sawgrass Advantage to our software, and then sometimes we get to have a little fun with the various products that you can make with the Sawgrass decorating systems, and that's what we're going to do today. So this week we're looking at products that you can make with Sawgrass for the holiday season, because if you're going to be selling or even doing a lot of making, now is the time to start planning. And that's why this month is Christmas in July, just so we can get you started thinking about what needs to happen before the Christmas season. And hopefully this week we're kind of whetting your taste buds. So if you joined us yesterday, you got to see this wonderful table runner that you probably can't see, but I'm not going to pick it up right now because there's some stuff on it. But we also made these stockings. We also made some table linens and some other things yesterday, and this beautiful pillow behind me, just to kind of show you what I think you can do for the holiday season this year with VersaFlex. So as a reminder, we have always been a sublimation company. Our Sublejet UHD ink is made specifically for that. So paired with our SG500 and SG1000 printers, you can do all of your sublimation products. With our new VersaFlex ink and our new VersaFlex decorating system, by putting that VersaFlex ink in there, you can still do your traditional sublimation on your sublimation transfer paper like Tropix. And then if you change the paper out to the VersaFlex Light, now you are able to go on to the things that have kind of always been out of limit for us with sublimation. So you can now press onto cotton fabrics, pretty much any other fabric, and then you also are going to be able to go onto uncoated products, so they don't have that polyester coating, so things like wood and unglazed ceramics. So we looked at a lot of that yesterday. Today we're going to specifically focus on ornaments. Couple of reasons why I think ornaments are the coolest thing to make. There are so many of us with names like Rhonda and Rhodes, where we never get anything personalized with our names. I also think that ornaments in general are just such a great way to personalize and kind of commemorate those special occasions in our lives. So ornaments are great for that. So they are a great addition to your own tree, or they also are great gifts. I use them as name tags. So my friends and family that get gifts from me each year are starting to call it the Rhonda tree, because they have all of the ornaments I've made them over the years that I've used as name tags on gifts. And then of course, if you are selling, such a sweet spot for selling. And the really cool thing is there's always been so many different types of ornaments that you can make. And now with VersaFlex, we've expanded that even more. So welcome to my Charlie Brown Christmas tree. With my Charlie Brown Christmas tree, this was done with VersaFlex. So this is just an uncoated wood. Actually got a bunch of ornaments, wooden ornaments off of Amazon. If you have a laser cutter, of course you can do your own, which is awesome. But this is something that I made with that. These wood rounds as well that you see on the tree, I think these are phenomenal for Christmas. So you see everything from this, which is personalized with a family name, to my little friend on the back, where it's just a cute little saying on there. But whether it's personalized or whether it's just cute, I did not have a chance to add any gnomes to my tree, but gnomes of course are going to be huge every year. Also on my tree, you are going to see these metal ornaments. One is cute artwork, and all of this artwork is out of our design tool. So out of the My Sawgrass design tool. The cute little gingerbread with my daughter's face on it. Really easy to make, really awesome ornament. And then one of our team members is celebrating, so made a little ornament to help her remember her special occasion as we get into the holidays. These ornaments are metal. They are traditional sublimation, so just to kind of run through it, this is done with the VersaFlex light paper, VersaFlex ink, VersaFlex light paper. This is done at 375 for 30 seconds. The wood rounds also 375 at 30 seconds. This metal ornament is true sublimation done on Tru-Pix paper. I did use the VersaFlex ink for both of these. And then that, of course, is going to be 400 degrees at 60 seconds. There's a couple of ornaments that I'm not going to get to today, but just to kind of remind you, they're out there. Ceramic ornaments are great. They are still very economical, but they do add that kind of upgraded look, that more, it looks like there's a little more value to them, a little bit more of the keepsake nature of it. If I were doing, you know, the engagement or the first year in the house or the first year married or any of those things, ceramic ornaments would be great for those. Also good for photos. So we're going to kind of go through some of the artwork in the My Sawgrass design tool today that works well for these kind of things. But again, a more traditional, more vintage, I think I would do with this. The gingerbread's kind of a modern take on Christmas, a little more fun. I love the metal ornament for that. I'm tending to lean towards the wood rounds for things that are a little more of that vintagey, old-fashioned Christmas. I really love doing that. Now this, of course, this is ceramic. So check your settings on this, but it would be, you could do this with your Sublegent ink. You also could do this with your VersaFlex ink with Tru-Pix paper. This is going to be a little bit of a higher time, just because ceramic does take a little bit longer to cook. And then this is actually sublimation wood. So this is wood that has been treated. It does have that poly coating on there. I believe this would be 400 degrees at 60 seconds. Great with your Sublegent ink. Also great with your VersaFlex ink and your Tru-Pix paper, your sublimation transfer paper. So another really great option. Here, now that I've cleared it off, this is our table runner that we made yesterday, and these red trees keep running away from me. This, as you can see, I actually made this burlap table tree skirt. I made this also. I made this morning. So this is burlap. So you see with the design, it still holds really well to the details even without looser fabric. The way I did this was the whole thing did fit in the press. I did use a pressing pillow with this particular one. I was a little bit concerned because of that lip there and there. Just wanted to make sure that I did get a good result on that. I did half and then I did the other half. So cut out the 3, placed them down, went ahead and pressed that, and then went ahead and did that on the other side too. So I like one side better than I like the other side. The first set did work better than the second set, but you do see how nice those look on my little burlap tree skirt. So keep tree skirts in mind for your holiday decor as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the design tool. And before you switch cameras, Rhodes, I am going to start with this acrylic ornament. So this is an acrylic ornament. It is viewed from the front. We are going to press onto the back. So we're going to start with this really cute acrylic ornament. And then I do have a metal ornament we're going to do too. And then hopefully we'll have some time for another special project. Now, if you are with us live, we do welcome you. Rhodes is in the chat. So if you do have any questions, if you have any comments about anything, please let Rhodes know. He'll get them over to me or he'll answer you himself. So thank you, Rhodes, for helping out. All right, so I am in the Sawgrass website. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my Sawgrass. Now, this ornament is a hexagon. For something like this, just because I'm making it for myself, I am going to just use my ruler and kind of figure out my dimensions. I looked at this earlier, and kind of what I have found is that it's roughly, if you go from point to point, about 3.5 across. And I think it's the same there. So about 3.5 and 3.5. I'm going to put a photo on this. So I know that kind of those edges are going to get cut off. So I'm going to make sure that the people are kind of centered in there to work for that. And for this, it's just so easy to use a custom canvas. Now I'm going to keep my custom canvas square in this particular occasion, but I did have fun this morning using these die cut shapes. They do come in very handy. I actually used the circle. It was funny. I was originally thinking, okay, I'll have to make sure my circle is all good, and then I'm like, wait, I don't have to. I'm using custom canvas. I can use those die cut shapes, which are so handy. Let me make sure it did keep my size. Yeah, it did. All right, good. And like I said, I'm just going to upload a file for this particular one. Yeah. It's going to work out pretty well, I believe. I don't think we're going to get cut off a tremendous amount. There's a nice little bit of edge on that, so I think this is going to work great. Not going to be able to see where we are as much as I would like it to be, but it is a great photo of me and my coworkers, so we're going to use that. I do think that's going to be pretty perfect when we get that on there. All right. Now, if you've never noticed, and I'm going to send this over and then I'll come back and show you. This is going to go onto that acrylic. It's very similar to a frosted glass. When you kind of get done with it, it does have that more of a reflective look to it. And so I don't really need to do anything to this particular photo. I think it's going to work just as it is. But we'll go ahead and get that sent over. All right. So, like I said, with the acrylic, one of the things you're going to notice I'm going to do is I'm not going to mirror this. So this is going to go on not mirrored, and I'll show you that in the Sawgrass print utility in just a second. And that is just pulling up. Now, you should always see this screen. This is going to be a little pop-up that tells you that it's going to open up the Sawgrass print utility. If you are not seeing this, then this means that it is not transferring over. There's usually a pop-up blocker that's blocking that. I may be running into some internet issues, and that is exactly what is going on. So I'm going to send that over again. I did see that was taking a minute, and so I immediately knew there's probably a good chance that my internet's moving just a little bit slowly on Wi-Fi. And I've been doing this all morning, so I know it was working. All right, so there it is. There it is, opening up the Sawgrass print utility. It is going on over. Now, I'm going to wait till it completely opens up, and then I do want to show you something really fast. All right. So when you load a photo into the Sawgrass or the My Sawgrass design tool, there are some filters that you can use. You can see the different effects. Like I said, this particular photo is already going to have an effect on it. But if you are looking to kind of play with the photo and the tones, you can do that here, which is really, really nice. My internet's not moving the fastest all of a sudden, so it's not applying it, but there are these that you can apply. All right, let's go ahead and go into the brand utility. Okay. So with this one, it is sized correctly. I am going to go ahead and center that on my page. Doesn't really matter on this. This is going to be acrylic. I am going to go ahead and turn my mirror off. Because I don't need this to mirror. And everything else is set correctly. Now the only thing I need to change is, you may notice that my printer looks a little bit taller than yours, and that is because I do have an option tray. Now the beauty of the option tray is I'm able to have both my VersaFlex light paper and my TruePix paper in the printer at the same time. The only thing you have to remember is to change the tray. So I'm going to change that to the option tray. Most of your dealers will offer the option tray, so please check out that Find a Dealer if that's something that interests you. It's not only helpful if you have the two types of paper, it's also helpful if you have different sizes that you use regularly, just so you're not having to take paper in and out of the printer. You're just able to have those trays working. So we will go ahead and send this over to my TruePix paper. There it comes. I love having the little pillow on top because it really is making me smile. It's a really great pillow. Alright, so I have my print. I'm going to head on over and tape this down. Alright, now like I said, with this, you'll see there's that back side. That's what we're pressing onto, and then we're going to view it from the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. The heads are in there really nicely, so that's going to turn out great. Put in my tape. Now, one thing I always do if I'm using my flat press and I'm going on to ceramic, acrylic, ceramic if you're an acrylic or the big ones, I would use it for slate as well, is I use this pad. It's a little bit thicker. It does cushion really well. I tend to hold on to this for dear life because I don't want to lose it. Now these particular acrylic ornaments did come with really great instructions on pressing. It did say, I think it said 357, so I went ahead and said 360. This is about 362. Pressure is kind of on the medium side. With any of these fragile things, you don't want them to break. That is why we kind of have that cushioning pad in there as well. And I'm actually going to have this in there for quite a while. This is going to go for 4 minutes. So let's get started on another project. Okay, I'm going to go all the way out on the design tool and come back in. Now, one thing that I hear quite often, whether I'm talking to you users or whether I'm talking to dealers, one of the things that I hear a lot is people get confused as far as where their files are located in the design tool. So while we're here, let's go ahead and look at that. Now, because I already had something open and I exited out, you see that it took me immediately to my profile page. If you ever need to access it, just click on your name at the top and it's going to take you right here. Now my studio is going to be anything that I've created that's for my personal use. So anything that I get to the product detail page on and hit save, no one sees this but you. The only way it's going to get added to your store is if you put add to store, and then it'll go into your store. So you do see both, but as long as you're just hitting the save button, this is where it's coming, my studio. If I wanted to open up any of these, I'm just going to click on the three dots. Open into the designer is going to take it back to where I can edit it. If I wanted to just hit print, I can hit manage post details and hit the print button from there. If I ever had anything on my store that I wanted to move to my studio, same thing. Go to that product detail page and just hit the save button. It'll move it from the store to the studio, or vice versa. You can go there and set that up. So all of that is there for you to do. Just wanted to show you while we're here. I'm going to go ahead and click on my design button. Now, let me show you real quick this ornament. This is one that I really love. It is a snow, let me go ahead and take it out for you so you can see it. It is a snowflake ornament. It is a pewter metal, and so really, really nice ornament. And then it actually comes with a metal disc. So it is a white coated metal disc for sublimation. I'm going to press onto this, and then I have this little piece that I have glue behind it, so I can pull that off and glue this down. Makes a really nice keepsake ornament. So that's going to be your next project. I'm going to go ahead and check the measurements on this just to be safe. A little over 1.5 inches, and then a little over 1.5 inches. So I'd probably go, say it's about 1.75 as far as if I was going to put like a background to cover the whole area. And then of course I want to make sure that my image is kind of within about 1.5 inches. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I will do a custom canvas for this. I am going to use that die cut shape and go down to my circle. And go ahead and change that. I'm building in a bleed area, so I'm not going to put one in there. I know kind of where I need to be with that. And I think our ornament is ready. Alright, now this blowout paper did get a little bit of ink on it, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that away, just so I know not to use that again. Take this off and let it cool off. A couple more pieces of tape to pull off this. All right. I'll show it again when it's cooler so you can see the whole thing. But look at that adorable photo on that acrylic. That looks so great. I love it. I always love acrylic because of you pressing onto the back, it does give that kind of 3D effect. So we'll let this cool and then we'll add it to our tree. And not burn ourselves in the process. Hey Rhodes, have we had any questions coming in?
No questions right now. Lori says that ornaments are her favorite thing to sublimate.
They really are. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the temperature on this and then adjust my time down. I will check the depth a little bit more when we actually go to do this. But I know this is going to be my traditional sublimation. It's going to be 60 seconds at 400 degrees. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about this yesterday. This press is a little different for us. I remember the first time I did a class while using it, I actually didn't get to practice, and so was really struggling, but have quickly learned it to the point where I don't even have the item in there, and I'm going to go ahead and get this pretty much set up for it. All right, that should be pretty close for when we're ready to go. With a photo like this, I could have added something like Berlin, just to kind of remind us where we were when we took the photo. Or it was at the Brandenburg Gate, so we could have put that on there too. But just a cool way to just remember something special. Now let's talk about our Christmas design. So anytime you're in the design tool, you are going to see items that do have that diamond shape on them. Anything with a diamond is going to be premium artwork. You do need to be a member of my Sawgrass Plus to use it. So this is going to be kind of a good tour for you. I am a member, so I'm going to use some of that artwork today. I'm going to go ahead and hit that filter button and come down to Christmas. I'm only seeing my Christmas designs. Now, I was talking earlier, you know, something like this would be great with a monogram on it. This would be a great one if you're kind of more of that modern Christmas style. This would also be a good place if you did want to celebrate a milestone, baby's first Christmas. I actually love this one. Won't use it today, but I do want to show you because I think it's a really great idea. So I talked about me using ornaments as name tags. This would actually be a good way to tell grandparents that you were expecting, to tell your parents you're expecting, is to give them that ornament. It would be so special and so cool. Okay. Any of these keepsakes are great. You do see that we have some ornaments that are made for pets. This teacher ornament would also be really good. I think it would lend itself to the metal ornaments, even to the acrylic ornaments. You could put that on wood as well. But we have some great, we have photo frames for Christmas that are really awesome. You see my gingerbread man that I use. You also could do a snowman. You could do a reindeer or an elf. So these are really cute. Actually, let me see how this looks. Yeah, I do like this. This one would actually be really adorable if you were to, let me make sure I'm grabbing it all. There we go. This one would actually be really cute if you wanted to use it on wood. I think that rustic look would be really good with this particular one. But a really nice family ornament. I think I do want to go with a different one, but I did like showing that to you because it is really cool. Now what you're going to see is that when you're switching between designs, you can only use one design at a time. You can add extra design elements to it, but you're only using the one design. I think I'm going to go back to my original idea, what I planned to do. I used this yesterday, but I really, really love it. And I think it makes a beautiful ornament. This, as we said, we know that it's going to be about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to make this just a tad bit smaller to make sure that I know it fits and isn't cutting anything off. I'm going to click off and then click on this W. Change my letter. And I'm all set to go. I think that's going to be really adorable. With this particular one, I don't think you really need to add a color behind it. But if you ever do want to add a color, it's as easy as going into elements and backgrounds. And then you're just going to choose the color you want to use as a background. Now, I talked about this yesterday. An easy way to do this is if I were to put in a Google search, hex codes for ivories to use as a background would work really well. I'm pretty good with colors, so I would click in the yellows and then just go kind of to the side, knowing that's going to give me one that's more on the grayish side and very, very light. So if I wanted to do a very light background, I'm going to stay very, very close to the top and get that, and I actually kind of like that, so we'll leave this for this. All right, I'm going to hit print. Send that on over to my Sawgrass print utility. While I'm waiting, I'll add a string to my ornament. Hit print. All right, there's my little pop-up to open in my tool. Alrighty. Love the way that turned out. Okay, so now I'm set and ready to go. This is one where you may want to do multiple projects at once. Yes, this is very small. So just put on one piece of paper. Go ahead and change this. This is going on to metal. True Pix paper, and I will remember to change that to my option tray and hit send. Now I'm going to check my piece of metal. Typically these are going to have a film on them to protect it. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. Something like this that is just one-sided, it will only have the plastic on one side. If anyone out there has a good tip for finding the plastic and removing it, please let me know. Or let Rhodes know, and he'll let me know. Alright, there it is. You just gotta kind of know. One thing I will tell you not to do is use scissors or a knife. And the reason we're not going to use scissors or a knife is that there is a solid chance with a scissors or a knife that you are going to damage the coating. And we definitely don't want to do that. Before I move over, I'm going to check to make sure I have this lined up. I do. It's going to be perfect. All right, so let's go.
Lori says that if you just tap it on your top plate, it will loosen that plastic so you can grab it and remove it.
Oh, kind of like opening a jar. Now, you will notice when I am doing the VersaFlex light paper, I'm not using tape. It's not the same as sublimation, so we're not having to worry about that gassing. That's the main reason why we do take this down, is to keep it nice and secure. Paper. Put that on top. Make sure my paper doesn't fold and make things more difficult. All right. Oh, not enough pressure. That is not going to work. So hopefully I don't cause gassing by doing this, but we are going to have to adjust it a little bit. That's what I get for not testing it ahead of time. I may mess up my ornament, but that happens. And that's why you can get replacement disc for things like that. So if I did mess this up, we would be able to get a replacement, or I probably have them floating around. Alrighty. 20 seconds. So I was saying, now that I'm doing so much VersaFlex, I'm getting kind of spoiled by the 30 seconds. A minute feels so long now. All right. Actually, I got very lucky on that one. Check that out. I'll hold it up over on the other side too. But check that out. That turned out so nicely.
Lori has another comment. When it comes to working with metal, if you accidentally forget to remove that plastic, don't automatically assume that it's ruined. Go ahead and remove the plastic and look. It will actually sublimate and be fine.
We will beg to differ on that. It just really depends, I guess. We had a bit of a fun emergency this morning with some plastic that was left on, and I think Rhodes thought for about 30 seconds that he may have damaged the press. So luckily we did not. Everything's fine. All right. This is kind of cooler now. I'll show it to you. Okay, so what I realized, I've said this before, I am so enjoying this new world with VersaFlex and VersaFlex light paper, of being able to just buy what I want to buy. I'm not having to look for things that are specifically coded for sublimation. I'm able to kind of branch out. So I picked up a bunch of these wood ornaments on Amazon, and I got like 50 for around $8. It was really funny because I was getting judgmental because there were some specialty shapes where you were getting 50 for closer to $20, and I'm like, no, that's too much. But I got this for under $10. I do have 50 of them, so there's quite a number of these. And so what I was thinking is, instead of using them as an ornament, I'm actually going to make a garland. So I'll start it today. I'm going to do a few since we have time, and then I will show you what this looks like when we get done. I'll hang it up in a week or two. So this is that H, that little metal that we can now stick on our ornament. So I'm really excited. We'll finish that off. I'm going to change the temperature on the press, and then I will show you how I'm going to do that garland out of letters. So I'm just going to drop this in here. Get that. Such a great ornament. So these are the 2 ornaments we made today to add to our tree and to everything else. And I hope you're seeing just the wide variety. I hope you're getting to kind of think about the different things you can make and styles you can make. Really cool. All right, let me reset this press and then we'll get started. So this is going to be my VersaFlex light paper on uncoated wood. So I'm going to take this down to 30 seconds and the temperature down to 3. Oops. That's what I get for saying I'm having such good luck with the press. I forget how the buttons are. All right, we're set. Okay, let me show you what I have in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my snowflake. I'm going to measure this to see kind of where that middle section is. And I would feel very safe saying 1 inch. And then for height, same. So I would feel very safe going with about 1 inch in the middle of a snowflake. So I'm going to do just that. So I'm going to go into my design tool. Open up my custom canvas. I'm going to make this tiny. I'm going to go 1 inch by 1 inch. And go ahead and start designing. Now this works fine as a square. So I'm going to leave it in that shape. And then I'm just going to go into my fonts. Alright, so I'm going to make this guy bigger just so I can see it really well. You really can make this look however you want it to look. I'm going to click on my font styles. I'm going to use my favorite button, my filter button. And really, you've got a couple of options here. So some of the decorative fonts would probably look really good for this. You also can say, I want it to look more modern. If you're going more modern, you're probably going to go with sans serif. Sans serif means without the feet. I like more of a traditional look, so I'm probably going to go with a serif font. And I'm going to kind of click through a few to see, don't like that one. That one's pretty nice. I'm going to try that one. This is, to me, the traditional Christmas M, so I'm going to use that. That's it done. And I'm just going to enlarge that. Now, it's feeling like my size is wrong. So I'm wondering if it did not take it down to 1 inch, but we'll check it and see. Let's see. Nope, it did. Just making me nervous. Now you're noticing that because it's got this huge area at the bottom, I'm kind of raising it above. That's making it easier for me to kind of manipulate that. And that fits right in that 1 inch wide. So there's my M. Now I'm going to change my color. I'm just gonna, I'm actually, I'm gonna click on this. This is actually a good one here. I'm gonna go sight unseen. Now there's some really fun things you could do with this. We could actually make this Christmas red. Yeah, like that. And then we could actually make an outline. So we can make a stroke, either a black stroke, or you could actually go in and make a green stroke. So you're adding that to it. So really just kind of depends on what you want to do. I don't really want to add one. I think I'm just going to leave it as my red letters. And I'm ready to go. So I'm going to hit print on this. Send this over. I'm just going to do, I'm making a Merry Christmas banner with my snowflakes. So I'm going to send each letter over. You can do this a couple of different ways. You could do a bigger piece of paper and you could just do them. It really just depends on how what you feel is best time-wise. I'm going to send that over and then I'll do my next letter. Like I said though, you could do a bigger piece of paper and I will actually for the rest just so you can see that. Now that I know my size is exactly what I want it to be, we're going to open that up. Yep. Go back. I'm actually going to change my custom canvas. Now it's not changing my letter size. Actually it did, so that would not work for me. I would have to go back in and make sure that it was exactly the size that I needed it to be. But worth trying. All right. Now there's two ways I can do this. I am looking at my measurements on the top. I'm going to get that to right where I want it to be. Right at that inch. And then I could go in, change my M to an E. Make sure that my size hasn't changed. It should change a little bit on me. There we go. So there's my E. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that. Make that an R. Check my size again. Pretty close. I'm hoping no one would go in and measure my letters to make sure that they were exactly the same. My original method probably gives you the best as far as that's concerned to make sure that they're 100% the same. He's doing them in that 1 inch. Just did this to speed up a little bit. Perfect. There we are. So I'm going to print this and send this over. Actually, before I do, and this will make more sense in a second, I'm going to spread these out just slightly. I'm gonna hit print, send that over to my printer. Rhodes, any questions or comments?
No, we are caught up on questions right now.
Awesome. All right. Just waiting for my little pop-up. We've got it, so we'll get that on over. Now you're noticing that because I sent this as two different files, it's opened as two different tabs. So I have one for this design file, I have one for this design file, and I haven't closed this one yet, so I can hit the X and close that. And now I have two files. What if I want to put them all on the same piece of paper? Well, what I'm going to do is right here in the top, there is a button that says Merge Jobs. So that's merging the two tabs together. I'm going to select which one I want to merge this into. I'm going to hit Merge into Tab, and now they're going to be on the same page. Now, it is 2 pages because I need to crop them to image area. Hopefully that'll work perfectly for me and put them on the same page. It did not. But that's okay, I'll just do it as 2 pages. I do know there's been improvements to crop the image area that will be in the July release of the Sawgrass print utility. So look for that to work just slightly better than it just did for me. All right, so I'm gonna go in. I could probably turn off my adjust for light colors. I do always with my pinks leave it on, so I'm going to leave it on my red just to be safe. I'm going to go ahead and choose uncoated wood because that's what I'm pressing onto. It's VersaFlex Light. I'm going to go ahead and use my Vivid. I am, of course, going out of tray 1 because that's where my VersaFlex Light paper is. And I go ahead and hit print. There we go. Always enough hesitation to worry. Now I did tell you this morning when I was doing the tree skirt, I did it as 2 sets. And the reason is because with your VersaFlex Light, it does need to go on wet and it does need to be a quick peel. So with something like this, just to make sure that I'm able to peel it, I would press each of these separately just to make sure that works. I would go ahead and press those separately. I'm going to check this on the wood. I hadn't done that yet. Yep. That feels good. Perfect. I could probably, once I got used to peeling these, I may be able to peel 2 at a time. But I just want to be safe. Make sure I put my E-ray side up. I was about to not have that right side up. I'll go ahead and press that. Grab my gloves since this is going to be a little bit warm. Oh, that is perfect. Check out my little E. That'll look good. And I have some twine that I'm going to use to string this. It's now on the floor. Now you notice that I did print them all at once. I do feel this would be a situation where I can get them all done within about 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that this is that you want to get on quickly. I think we're going to get it on quickly enough. So that's pretty much where you're going to leave me. I'm going to go ahead and press some more letters, keep working on my garland that we'll hang. So Rhodes, do we have any final questions?
No, we are good on questions.
All right. Well, that is it for us this week. Please be on the lookout. We do have a new podcast, Ink Differently, a new episode of Ink Differently coming out this week. So you'll be seeing that Friday, and that's going to be on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music as well. So please check out our podcast. It's really a great one with Mike, one of our R&D chemists. So that's kind of it for the day. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.